Hi there, and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection UK for a video I'm very excited to bring you all. It is my top 10 action figures of 2022. Well, I say top 10 because, I couldn't get it down to 10. So I thought, right, we'll go double the size, top 20. I couldn't even manage that. So here we are, top 22 for 2022. So I'm by the Christmas tree, feeling very festive. You may notice Jack Skellington there is my Christmas tree topper. So, any toy line is eligible for this video. I'm going through any figure that I bought in 2022 and a figure that was released in 2022. Those are the only rules I'm applying. So it's a complete free-for-all. It's going to cover all action figure lines from Marvel Legends to NECA to Storm to Mezco. It's going to be a bit of everything. So here we go, the top 22 of 2022. Right, we start off at number 22. And who makes it 22? It's the ballsack himself. It's good old Figuring Dan from Star Wars Black Series. So the Cantina Band, one of my favourite scenes, I think everybody's favourite scenes from the original Star Wars A New Hope film. Managed to get quite a few of them in a sale at $9.99 from Star Action Figures. So I've got 5, I think, now. But Figuring Dan takes number 22. His penis fingers, his ballsack head. Play that same song as they say. So there he is. Figuring Dan takes position 22 on the top 22. Right, in at 21 then, we go to the Action Force, the Valaverse Action Force Cube. And who is it going to be from this line? Some great figures. Not all of them come out in 2022, but it's actually the man here front and centre at the front, Trigger, that takes number 21 on the list. Honourable mention there to Desert Rat behind him, Tony's Ranlog Toys. That's another great figure. But I think Trigger sums up Action Force. Big and beefy American, looks really good. Trigger, of course, big character in Only Fools and Horses in the UK. A lot of Americans won't get that reference, but Trigger is a great name. And look at this figure, absolute unit of a fella. So Trigger and Action Force take spot 21 on the list. Well, we go deep on the bottom shelf now for number 20. And it is from Diamond Select Toys' Lord of the Rings line. It's the Gollum action figure, old Schmeagol down here. Andy Serkis himself. This is the deluxe version with the rocket accessory, the fish, and all the other weapons. So, would have made it higher if they put a few little hairs on his head. But the fact that we've got a really good looking Gollum figure all these years after Lord of the Rings makes me quite happy. So, Gollum does make the list at number 20. There's a quick view there behind of some of the Lord of the Rings figures from the Sauron build figure wave and some of the classic Toy Biz bases that I've incorporated into the display there. But it's Gollum himself that takes the number 20 spot on the list. In at 19 is my first of a couple of Marvel Legends that have made the list. It is the retro carded Lizard. So nice. I bought him twice. There he is. Got to have him on the card as well. Lizard, probably behind Doctor Doom, is my sort of second favourite overall Marvel character out of any to choose from. So very happy to finally have a good Marvel Legends Lizard figure. The Builder figure previously, a bit too big for me, a bit too modern style. So you've got some really cool heads that come with this Lizard. You've got the bottles there from the laboratories, the accessories, the bendy wire tail. The fact I just love the character. If you look on the carded version, you've got the classic first appearance head sculpt. So you've basically got two very, very different versions of Lizard. The more sort of scary McFarlane style down here on the shelf and the classic style up there. So it's been a big year for Marvel Legends, even in the toy room. I will eventually do a video of the wardrobe that we're in with the Marvel background that I've put together. But Lizard takes number 19 on the list. We now head to number 18 on the list and we go into the G.I. Joe classified section. It's a bit of a mess because it is going to get moved way up there, I think, on the top, in a bit of a mess of the toy room, a little behind the scenes there. So which character have I chosen? It's the man that's dangling himself. My terrible posing, as you can see. It's Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe Classified. A very good classic interpretation of the character. Great to have him to finally go with Snake Eyes that we've had for quite a while. Storm Shadow, I think, is the best G.I. Joe figure this year. I nearly gave it to Spirit. Where's Spirit? He's way up at the back there. If it will focus, there he is. Spirit at the back. But my Spirit I can never get to stand up, so we had to lose a few points there. So it's Storm Shadow that takes number 18 on the list. And hopefully Super 7 will deliver some of the G.I. Joes next year. And hopefully even a version of Storm Shadow himself. So Storm Shadow takes 18. Right, for number 17 on the list, we're going to go to Beast Kingdom's Dynamic Action Heroes, which are more 9-inch scale figures. So I've been picking up some of the DC ones, as you can see with some of the Snyderverse figures over there on the big space, waiting for Joker and Batman 89. But the figure that made my list, it's quite awkwardly displayed, so I'll see if I can get in there. It's going to be the Joker from the prison scene of The Dark Knight Returns. Hopefully you can still hear me, no any other camera. So it comes fully cloth goods there, as you can see. The pinstripe pants, the very dusty table, the magnetic lamp. The crazy smiling face I had on him actually comes with, if I can get the camera in there, with the Batman figure as a bonus head sculpt. So I put that on the crime scene from the prison. So it is the prison cell Heath Ledger Joker and the Beast Kingdom Dynamic Action Hero that makes number 17 on the list. Into another part of the toy room now. God, doing this makes you realise I collect far too many different action figure lines. No wonder it's hard to get down to 22. So we're going to Masters of the Universe, and specifically Masters of the Universe Origins. And it is the Mattel Creations exclusive Grislaw. Look at that fella. Full of hair. It was quite hard to get, as I think he sold out in a few seconds, but luckily I was on there at 5 o'clock when it went up for order and managed to get Grislaw. So a member of Hordak's Horde. Where's Hordak? He's in the background there. There was this. So Grislaw makes a list. It could have been any of these figures there. There's so many good figures in the Origins line. Castle Grayskull there in the background. This is the famous window that I've blocked up at the moment. We've got figures now hanging on poles at the top as well. And room over here for the Snake Mountain that will eventually hopefully come from Masters of the Universe. But a really fun, great bright colours on this line. But it is Grislaw that takes the spot here on the list. Right, for number 15 on the list, we head into another different action figure line. It is Storm Collectibles' Mortal Kombat range. And the figure that takes it, I'm going to have to try and lean in here, is right at the back, is the massive figure of Kintaro. Look at the size of this fella. Absolutely huge. These claim to be Storm 112, but these are way not 112. They're definitely 1/10. They are huge figures. Great figure. Again, like Goro with the 4 arms there, and a classic character from Mortal Kombat. Comes with these ridiculous accessories. It's ready made and made this. I didn't even know he came with these until he got in hand the ice arms for Sub-Zero. So eventually I think I will put them on the Sub-Zero you see there, with the blood effects that come off, like he's just ripped his arms off. And he comes with all sorts of other things, like look at the dust here, but the headpieces for Sub-Zero and his brain exposed. So this is an absolute massive figure. Absolute brick on the shelf. Love that. So that is Storm Collectibles Kintaro in at 15. As you know, I like to do all sorts of different tries of styles in these videos, so I managed to pull this fella off the shelf. It is NECA's The Last Ronin from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What a figure this is. Absolute tons of accessories. I won't give away any spoilers here for the story, but I have been reading it. It's an absolute epic story. Cannot wait till I get more figures from this line. But the basic hooded Ronin figure here definitely takes a spot on the list. This line is going to be epic. I've got a whole cube awaiting to go with this fella. But Ronin takes the list here at number 14, and our first entry from NECA Turtles. Spoiler, you might be seeing some more of these on the list. Up to number 13 on the list, and it is the Marvel Legends Spiral figure. So you may have seen on the channel I recently unboxed her and was very, very impressed. Focus, there we are, on Spiral. 6 arms, pinless, Been waiting absolute years to get a character of this quality from Marvel Legends. So she's the highest ranking female Marvel Legend on the list, but there might be more Marvel Legends to come. But absolutely love this Spiral figure. There's a lot of blue blending here. I seem to have painted half this room blue. I don't even like the colour blue. I've actually got a matching lamp on the ceiling there that goes with this. There you go. Spiral in all sorts of positions around on the video. But Spiral just knocked something over as well. It's all going on in the top 22 of 2022 list. But Spiral takes number 13 on the list. In at number 12, it's our first Mafex figure on the list. It is the Jean-Paul Valley Azrael 1990s Nightfall Batman figure. What an epic figure this is. I've got the Vengeance of Bane comic book cover there on the wall behind them. We're down in the living room on the top of the cabinets here. And my phone's ringing. Who is ringing me in the middle of a top 10 video? Let's have a look. It's the missus. Let's take the call live. Why not? Hello, dear. Yes, I'm filming a video once again. You've rang me in the middle of it.
Oh, alright.
How can I help?
Well, I'll speak to you later.
You'll speak to me later. Alright.
You're live.
I am live, so you'll speak to me later, everybody. That is Cheeky Monkey Kiara on the phone. We'll give her a big shout out. See you later, dear.
Love you, bye.
We're going to keep that in. I think we're definitely going to keep that in. So back to Azrael. What a figure this is. Look at that. Interrupted by the missus. She did that on a live stream the other day. Why not keep it in? But the shine on this thing is just ridiculous. I can step back and you see him up there. Just normal wires. You can't see him from the seated position. But it's just so shiny. I love the shine. So, yeah, because it's shiny, it's made the list. Number 12, Azrael Batman. At number 11, for the final time today, we return to Storm Collectibles. And we go to the Golden Axe line. Now, it could have been half of these figures. Tyrus Flare there at the back in her dragon. I love her, but she hasn't quite made the list. It's going to Gilius Thunderhead here at the front with his axe and his accessory. Yes, his accessory. Chicken leg. Look at that little fella. I don't know how this fella could not make a list. I remember playing this game so much as a kid. Some of you may have seen me trying to attempt the Mega Drive's classic version on the live stream, which I am pretty bad at, but I will still keep trying. Never completed the game to this day. When I'm over now, 35 years old, still not completed Golden Axe. But Storm Collectibles really do make some of the best figures around. Yeah, they're definitely too tall if you compare them across to like the 7-inch NECA Turtles. They're definitely in that scale, but so they need their own sort of separate display. But the articulation is great. The material just feels so good in hand. There's such nice representations of classic video game characters. So Gilius Thunderhead makes the list. So before we get into the top 10, time for some honourable mentions. And these honourable mentions may have definitely made the list if I'd got round to unboxing them. So it's definite proof that I buy far too many toys that I hadn't even got round to opening some of these great figures. So Scrag, the Loot Crate bonus exclusive. Yeah, I had to pay eBay prices. Shout out to the Turtles and Tea of Dan Hu and Super Turk 5000 for literally enabling me on this one. But you've got to have Scrag, haven't you? I'm so excited for all the rest of the gang to come out next year. So Scrag gets an honourable mention. Sticking with Turtles, and shout out to my friend Ali, you know him. The Last Name Express, which I think has cost about £25, is Casey Jones from the Mirage comic line. So looking forward to collecting all the Mirage figures. I've got all the original IDW reprints of the Mirage comics. I do enjoy reading through those in black and white and some in colour. So Casey Jones makes the honourable mention. Into a new line for this year, which I'm sure we'll get to later in the list. It's Mythic Legions, so it's Figura Obscura Father Christmas himself. I got the old 1am FOMO the other day when that went up for order in the UK. I know a few other of us did as well in the UK. So Father Christmas is here in about 3 days from FedEx, which is crazy. Big shout out to D Blake Makes. You know him on Instagram for making all these great custom signs. He was at Legions Con and managed to get me the exclusive, the unknown one from Mythic Legions. I think this could have been in probably top 3 of the year had I got round to unboxing it, but I haven't got round to unboxing it. it looks pretty good in the box, so it gets an honourable mention. And finally, if I crawl up the stairs of all places to be filming in, it is a pair of Iron Men. So it is the Mafex classic comic Iron comic. What am I saying there? We're not editing, so we're keeping that in. It's the classic comic book Iron Man with proto cannon. Don't know why he has the cannon, but the figure is great with roller skates. I've seen some great reviews on that one. And shout out to this fella. He's too expensive, so I had to keep him in on card because I can't afford to get two. And yes, he goes in the Hasbro Advent sale. That would be great, Hasbro. Stick this fella in there. Is the classic 90s modular Iron Man in the sort of cartoon or the Marvel vs. Capcom colours there. Again, probably go great with the Jada Toys, Street Fighter and Mega Man sort of Marvel vs. Capcom figures coming out next year. So, but we couldn't have him on the list fully because I haven't opened him yet because I couldn't afford to, as I said. So there are 6 there, honourable mentions that are still mint in box. So now, on to the top 10. Right then, into the top 10. And I think anyone remembers my appearances on Legends and Liquor last year. That was number 1. Top figure of the year was Slive from Super 7's Thundercats. Super 7 haven't quite released a lot this year, so they haven't made number 1, but they have made number 10 this year. It is the Transformers G1 animated Optimus Prime. Now, as a kid, I didn't really watch the animated Transformers show. I have seen the animated movie as a kid, but not the actual animation. So the fact that I think this figure is so good, it got me into a whole new line of something I haven't even seen, says how good I think this figure is. Yeah, the articulation, no, it isn't there. That's as much as you can bend the arm, but this just looks so animated on the shelf, and ages animation is definitely a weak point for me as I go back and rewatch it all as an adult. Hasbro have got the Transformers cartoons now up on YouTube, so I have been watching through all those. There's the Ghost of Starscream in the background, which are the only 2 I have so far. Definitely looking forward to more from this line. But Super 7 peaks at number 10 this year with the animated Optimus Prime. Right, in at number 9, we head to the living room to the Mezco collection. And it is the Batman Classic and Two-Face 2-pack. What a 2-pack this was. I was trying to get out of Mezco to try and save a bit of money. Then they announced this, and I jumped straight back in. Haven't stopped since. So, Two-Face. I love Two-Face. He's my favourite Batman villain. So, you all know that I'm in search of that classic Dick to go in this cube. So, let's hope that comes. But the Batman itself, I was quite surprised by. Much better than I thought it would be. I was buying it literally just for the Two-Face. But what a collection this is. There's a little surprise Easter egg there in the background of the deluxe Joker that nobody knows I have because I've never actually shown it in a video. So what a figure that is as well. But this is the classic Batman cube. And here is the Two-Face Batman 2-pack that takes Mezco at number 9 on the list. In at number 8 then, it's one of my favourite lines to collect, the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon figures. I absolutely loved this cartoon as a little kid, and the fact we've got these now cartoon accurate figures is literally just a dream come true. So what's it going to be? It's going to be the 4-pack from the, I think it's the San Diego Comic Con exclusive 4-pack, the Premonitions of Pre-Mutation, some very long tongue twister name. It's the Bebop and Rocksteady figures, the Baxter Stockman and the Splinter. If I had to choose one between them all, I'd give it to Baxter, but I'm counting all 4-pack as they are. So here's Baxter on the display, surrounded by his mouses that he invented. Oh, I do love Baxter. And finally having Bebop and Rocksteady in their unmasked versions with Scrag, as I mentioned earlier, to go with them. And hopefully the rest of the gang coming next year. It's going to make for one hell of a display, hopefully with all those diorama pieces, the Turtle Sewer play set to come as well. This is just a pleasure to collect this line. Well, apart from some of the exclusives that have been hard to get, but here's a quick overview of some of the shelves. Plenty of room in there to fit the diorama pieces. And of course that classic cartoon diorama street scene on the top. But I do love this line, and let's hope for many more to come. God, I'm up and down the stairs like a bloody yo-yo today. Luckily it's Saturday morning. I got the day off work. So the next position on the list goes to, it is the Mafex Black Suit Regeneration Suit Superman from the Death and Return of Superman storyline. There's an old Mattel exclusive DC Universe Classics Doomsday. Let's hope that we get an upgraded version of that from Mafex. I love this figure. Came out at the start of the year. I thought this would have been number 1, as I said before, when this originally came out. But I think he's only in at number 7 if I've kept the correct count on the list. What a figure this is. Love the shading in the hair. Love the alternate boots you can strap onto him. It's just an absolute brilliant figure. I've read through some of the story in the omnibus, so hopefully they're going to fill the rest of the characters out. I know they're doing Steel and Cyborg Superman yet to come from this line, so I think this is going to be quite the good display cube to come. But Mafex takes this spot on the list, which I believe, as I say, is number 7. Let's see if I can count in the next one. Yep, turns out my counting was good. We are now on number 6. So we've gone, for the first and only time today, to the NECA Gargoyles line. Who's it going to be? It is going to be Demona, who was way up there on the ceiling nearly. So massive shout out to Mike X, who managed to help me get this one all the way from America, because NECA cannot sell these in the UK, which is so frustrating, because I absolutely love the 90s Gargoyles cartoon. Saturday mornings, live and kicking, I think this was on in the UK. Absolutely loved it. Xanatos, the villain, is my favourite character, so the fact we're getting him next year in his suited form and in sort of the robot forms is going to be great. Also, my favourite gargoyle is Hudson, who I've had on pre-order with Big Bad Toy Store for quite a long time now, so hopefully he will be coming soon. But I've got all this space here on the sort of ceiling section for where the gargoyles can go, because these massive wings, that's the only letdown with some of the figures. You can see I've got the spare wings there and some Storm collectible stands, which these do stand quite well, and the heights are adjustable. So hopefully with the screws on the wall, the Storm collectible stands, I can actually get a good gargoyles display going here with lots of different wings heights with all these crazy wing expansions. But it is the female gargoyle herself, sometimes good, sometimes bad. It is Demona that takes a spot on the list. Right, we have made it to the top 5 on the list. What are the 5 most exciting action figures of the year, in my opinion? Well, number 5 goes to the 4 Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions figure obscura, that's a lot of words, Headless Horseman. What a figure this is. I love the horse. The figure itself is great. I did have an issue with the cape where it kept coming off, but I have managed to attach it. I think that was a common issue with this one. I did have to pay crazy aftermarket prices on it though, because I wasn't even into Mythic Legions, but then I just kept seeing this everywhere and couldn't resist the Headless Horseman. So the Headless Horseman makes number 5, but what he's inspired though is way over here. So if I come over here, he's inspired me to go from no Mythic Legions to literally 4 shelves worth of the things. Absolutely love Mythic Legions. To me, this is probably the best toy line of 2022, but a lot of figures you see here weren't released in 2022 because I've had to been backtracking through the help of some eBay listings, Big Bad Toy Store, mainly AliExpress, who has some of these older figures still available on order. And oh, I just love this line. They're just absolutely crazy. It's like He-Man to that next level. Big shout out to this little fella though, for Damien Ristori, who helped me find this little fella. Can't remember his name. Lithia Wave is pretty good. There is some great stuff. I've literally just got this fella in from AliExpress. Don't tell the missus how much that one cost. But I'll do a full video eventually on Mythic Legions, but I didn't include the rest of them on the list because I don't think a lot of them were really released this year. So the Headless Horseman has inspired this collection. So we're getting towards the top tier now. So in at number 4, doesn't quite make the top 3. In at number 4 is the Mezco Wolverine. What a figure this is. That Sentinel base comes with it. It's just ridiculous. It lights up. There's about 8 different heads. There's all sorts of things. It's just an absolutely incredible figure. Mezco Wolverine. I've got the classic sort of claws on him there. There's different belts. different sort of slashing effects, I suppose I should call them. But I do love my Mezcos. This is the highest place on the list for Mezcos. They haven't made the top 3, so hopefully you'll stick around for what's to come for the top 3, because Mezco didn't quite make it. But another great figure there is the 2099 Spidey that came out this year. As my final honourable mention in this box here, we do have the Mezco Pink Skull set that I think this probably could have made number 1 potentially, but I haven't opened it because I'm not supposed to see it because it's supposed to be a Christmas present. Massive shout out to Mini Plastic Multiverse for let me know this was going to become available again, because Mezco gave us about half an hour's notice. But the Pink Skulls are going to be epic, I think. So that is Mezco for this year. On to the top 3. And there we are, number 3, the bronze medal position goes to the Mafex, the Dark Knight Returns Superman figure. This thing is absolutely extraordinary. I've got the green kryptonite arrow in his hand, the battle damage burnt up head from the fight with Batman. This Dark Knight Returns Frank Miller story is just epic, one of my favourite DC stories. Shame I can't find a poster for it. Anybody knows if I can find a poster to go back there? That would be great, A4 size. This is a great collection from Mafex. The Joker there, one of my favourite figures of last year. So with the Battle Armor Batman, they are re-releasing this figure in the cover from issue 4, like the black cover, when Batman and Superman are in dark shadow. I think that's going to be an exclusive, but that would look pretty cool as well. But I just cannot sing the praises of this figure enough. The articulation is so smooth on it. The build is great. It's just such great quality, and I think it even ended up in a sale a few weeks ago for about 60 pounds. So it's an absolute great figure. It is the highest ranking 6-inch figure on the list though, in the bronze medal position. So what has taken silver and gold? Drum roll please then. The silver medal goes to... It's the Marvel Legends HasLab Galactus. Now, I know a lot of you might say this is cheating because it's just such a great figure, but it's got to go on the list, but it hasn't made the first place. It is only coming in second. So hopefully you'll stick around again to see what I think is better than Galactus. But this thing is absolutely extraordinary. The details on the face plates, it just mind-blowing. It's huge. I literally had to get him in a crouching over pose to fit him in this double-sized DTOF display with a custom sort of plexiglass shelf in the middle where the Mezco Fantastic Four and Mezco Doctor Doom will be living with Galactus there. There's his mate Bob the Sentinel over next door to him. Oh, when I unboxed this, as you saw me ride the box, I think in a previous video, it's just so big. It's such a good figure. It definitely deserves to make the list. Huge though, 32 inches I think he is, so you've got to have a lot of room for this bad boy. But Galactus makes the number 2 position, the silver medal. Who's going to get the gold? So here we are then, number 1, and for the first time on the list, it's a WWE Mattel Elite figures. But what is it going to be? So there is the Elite collection. Quite a lot of wrestling figures. Been collecting wrestling figures more time than I've been collecting any other line. But what have I been waiting for? What will take number 1? It is the WWE Mattel Creations New Generation Arena. Technically not a 6-inch figure, but it's still toys to me. And my goodness, I have been waiting for this thing since I was a little boy. That light up entrance stage is like my childhood summed up in one thing. Look at that. It's absolutely epic. I've built myself a little sort of custom arena setup to go with it. You got Hulk Hogan in the ring, taking on the earthquake. Everybody surrounding with the barricades. Mean Gene's doing some interviewing. There's a Krampus box over there, and the Ultimate Warrior with the WWE title in white that comes with the No Holds Barred movie Ultimate Editions. So I did open it just to get the belt out to go with the Warrior. But this thing is literally a dream project for me. I cannot wait to see what they do in the future. I'm hoping for a 1998 Attitude Era Raw Arena. I know they're doing the ring, which I'll be putting underneath this table set up here. If you want to include some action figures in this, the Ultimate Edition figures are on the Mint on Card wall, with one space to go. The ones that came with the arena are the WrestleMania 10 Randy Savage, which was the early bird. Doink the Clown, which again is another absolute dream figure for me. I love Doink the Clown as a little boy. I don't really like clowns, but I do love Doink. So I had the Hasbro little sort of 4-inch figures back in the day of Doink. And Big Daddy Cool himself, Kevin Nash Diesel, is the other. So you've got 3 Ultimate Editions there. I'll put the Shawn Michaels on the end that go with the arena. But it's a quick pan around. Look at the mess on the floor in the toy room. So what I've got to do next is actually tidy all this up and try and do a full toy room tour. But I have decided I'm going to be moving everything. With the addition of the Marvel Legends wardrobe, should be getting lots of space over there. But number 1 on the list, everybody, is the Mattel Creations WWE New Gen Arena. To me, even better than Galactus. Well, that's it. The Mattel Creations New Gen Arena was number 1. Hope you didn't see that coming. A nice surprise, hopefully, on the list. That was the top 22 of 2022. And what a year it's been for toy collecting. We may have a lot of price increases. That truly has been a bit of a pain in the arse, but we've had some great action figure releases, and I think the toy community has come on really well within the last year. So massive shout out to It's Dan Who and his Legends and Liquor crew and Legends and Liquor show. It's been an absolute pleasure coming on that show and getting to meet everybody in the community. I've got to meet Super Turk 5000. He's even been in this very action figure room. Jamie from JMG Toys. Phil Jones, Cool Toys UK, all met up at Clash at the Castle, which wouldn't have been possible without this action figure community. Great shout out to the super producer Rich M. He makes me laugh every week and helped me with my previous thumbnails because my thumbnail game is terrible. Mini Plastic Multiverse himself for all the Mezco enabling. Your boy's got toys. Alexi loves the Mafex. Probably the reason I keep buying Mafex. Big shout out to Mike Hext, D. Blake Makes, Damien Ristori for helping me out with different figures this year. It's just been an absolute great year and a pleasure to be part of the community. Huge shout out to Clive Foxwell. She's a great influence, I should say, and inspiration to the toy community. So keep it up. To anybody I've missed, I do apologise, but there's so many within this great community, and it has been a hell of a year. Big shout out, of course, to end with though, to Tac Tac Customs, Tac Tac Toys with Film here on YouTube, who shares me in the end of all of his videos. Big shout out to the Wolfpack, Miguel, who's had me on the show as a guest before as well. So really, it's just been a great 22. So hopefully 2023 will be good, with more to come from the channel, more to come from me, and more to come from the toy room. Hopefully a toy tour will be coming in January if I can clean this mess up. But that was the top 22 for 2022. I guess I'll have to do a top 23 for 2023. Please like and subscribe. We're on the way to 500, which is just mind-blowing. So I'll see you on the next one.